What's up, guys? Welcome back to another prediction show. UFC 281 is upcoming. Madison Square Garden, an electrifying one, that's for sure, Phoenix. I cannot wait to watch these fights.
It's crazy because I feel like we just had a pay-per-view and now all of a sudden there's another one coming up. So we're a little spoiled right now, but it's going to be a great night of fights. I'm super excited and let's get into it, Priest.
Let's do it.
All right, opening the main card, we have Dan Hooker versus Claudia Puig. Crazy fight, but what do you think is going to go down?
Dan Hooker's on a 5-fight lose streak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Going to Claudio. Claudio is 5-1 in the UFC. His first fight was actually a burn moment. He got knocked out and has won every single fight. And his last fight was a spinning back fist, KO. So I see him knocking out Dan Hooker.
You do? Yeah, I think Dan Hooker, he went down to 145. He got knocked out. He's been really struggling at 155, but I do think that this is a reinvigorated Dan Hooker. I think he's coming back up. I think he's going to get back to his roots, the same Dan Hooker that we saw against Dustin Poirier. Granted, he lost, but he was still a dog. He was in there to win, and I feel like he's really here to just shut out the haters, and especially fighting on the same card as Izzy. That's his teammate, so I think he's fighting for a lot more than just himself. So I think Dan Hooker's going to do it. Although Claudio is great on the ground, I think he's going to get it done.
Do you think if he loses, he's going to retire?
I don't know if he'll retire, but I definitely think he'll be cut. I think he'll get cut, and I think an organization maybe like PFL or Bellator could possibly pick him up, but I definitely think this is a crossroads fight for Dan Hooker.
For sure. All right, Phoenix, let's go. Fight number 2, Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. Who do you have?
Priest, I would hate to see Frankie Edgar lose again. I mean, his last 2 fights, he's been viciously knocked out. He got viciously knocked out by Corey Sandhagen with a flying knee and then a front kick to the face. Like, imagine getting front kick to the face and then got knocked out by Chito Vera. So it's tough. Just like Dan Hooker, he's on a 5-fight losing streak. I feel for him because I don't see him winning this fight. I think Chris Gutierrez, he's young, he's hungry, he likes to push the pace, he likes to walk forward, kind of like what Chito did to Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar had problems going backwards, and I think just that pace and that pressure and just that hungerness of a young kid is definitely going to be the difference maker in this fight.
I mean, the age gap is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's 10 years.
Yeah.
So Frankie Edgar is a little too old to be fighting, I think. But, I mean, look at Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
40,
the dude's,
was he 43 now, almost?
yeah, and he's right back into another title shot. But, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Chris. I
think so, too.
Probably like submission.
Gosh, I just hate it because I love Frankie Edgar and I loved him back in the day, and I just hate to see him go out on a bad note. I'd like to see him get a win and ride off kind of in the sunset, sort of say.
Dude, but it's tough getting knocked out and trying to win again. Like,
your chin's really never the same.
No, it's not. Do you think Usman's chin's going to be the same?
I think so. I mean, yeah, he got viciously knocked out, but it hasn't been multiple times in a row like
true.
Frankie Edgar. So that's a prediction show for another time. It's looking like, what, February?
Yeah, February.
Yeah, February. Hopefully we'll see that matchup. But, Priest. All right. Moving into what I think is literally the main event of the night, you have Iron Michael Chandler versus Dustin Diamond Poirier. Priest, I really think this is the main event. I think this is the fight that people have absolutely no idea what's going to go down.
I'm going to rock with Michael Chandler KO.
KO?
KO.
Oh, you're...
The dude's fights, every single fight he's won has been by knockout. I see he's just going to frustrate Poirier. He's going to get in his face, and he's just going to put his lights out.
Yeah, that's kind of a bold call, Cotton. I think it's going to be a super close fight. Stylistically, I think Chandler has the advantage. He's better on the ground, and I do think on the feet he is a better striker. But, man, Poirier just has those low calf kicks, and Chandler struggled with them. He struggled with them in Gaethje, and he struggled with him back when he was fighting in Bellator. He's really susceptible to those low leg kicks, and I think that's going to be a factor. But I think Chandler's on a mission now. You can tell he's like, I'm going to be the champ by the end of 2023, and I really think it's going to happen if he gets past Poirier. So I think Chandler's on a mission. I think he's going to get it done, and I don't know if he's going to get it done by knockout, but I could see a TKO. He kind of clips him and finishes him on the ground, but not a flat-out KO.
I'll tell you what, Chandler's for sure going to come back, prepare for those low calf kicks. He's
You
going to
think?
come super wide stance, and yeah.
I think it is good because Poirier is a southpaw and Chandler is orthodox. So, but Poirier is good with that lead calf kick too. So that was my kind of issue thing that I saw
Against
in his
McGregor.
past fights. Not even against McGregor, but against other people. That low calf kick is just there. So I'm going to rock with Iron Chandler, but it's definitely going to be a close fight.
Carlos Esparza.
Co-main event. Yeah. Carla Esparza, man, the way she won the title, yeah, it was boring, but I think she's really good. I think she's a great wrestler, but I think that's the only way she can win the fight. I think she has to take her down, and she has to hold there, and she has to drag it out and make it a long and boring fight for her to win this fight. I mean, Zhang Weili is way too explosive. She's way too strong. She has way too much power, and she's been working with Cejudo too. So I think her wrestling is also getting a lot better. So that's also going to be a factor.
Tell you what, she has a 60% takedown defense, so it's going to be a little hard for Esparza to.
Weili does?
Yeah, Weili.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine it.
And dude, that knockout on Joanna,
Yeah, that's tough.
that's very impressive.
So on the feet, I think Zhang Weili has it, and I think she's going to stuff the takedowns and frustrate Carla. So I see Zhang Wei winning by a TKO.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick. The main event.
You didn't give me your pick.
Oh,
Come on, Priest, you're gonna miss your own pick.
you already
on,
know
dog.
Zhang Weili KO.
Yeah. That's what I figured you were. I think a lot of people think Zhang Weili is gonna get it done, and we agree.
Dude, I got too excited for the main event.
Yeah,
I
you
had to
did.
jump the gun.
All right, jump into it. Let's go. Give it to me.
Israel Adesanya.
Izzy?
He's gonna frustrate Pereira. I think it's gonna be the same fight that he fought against Paulo Costa, because everyone thought Paulo Costa was that guy. But now it's Alex Pereira. 3 fights in the UFC, 2 have been by knockout. Israel's gonna win. He's just gonna frustrate him.
Yeah, you think? Gosh, I'm torn on this fight because I think all around Izzy is a better fighter, but Pereira just has that knockout power. He throws a crisp 1-2, and he always finishes with the left check hook. I mean, that's what he got Strickland with. So I don't see why it can't happen now. He has knocked out Izzy. I'm not really buying into the narrative that much, but I do think losing to someone psychologically plays an effect on you. And I think Izzy going into this fight, he knows he's been knocked out. So I think he knows he can get knocked out again.
I'll tell you what, that was on full display for the Rose fight in Esparza. I mean, Esparza's beat her the first time they fought, and you just have that back in your head, just like, I lost this person.
But I do think there is an X factor in this fight. If you go back and you watch Alex Pereira's not his last fight, the fight
Santos.
before when he fought Bruno Silva.
Silva. Yeah.
Silva is a southpaw, and he caught him a few times with some good straight lefts. And Izzy likes to go southpaw and throw the left high kick and the left kick to the body. So I expect Izzy to come out southpaw more. I think that straight left's gonna find a home, and I do think that left high kick is gonna find a home. So keep in mind when you're watching this fight, I think that's gonna be X factor, and I also think Izzy is gonna tinkle in some wrestling. He might not necessarily get a takedown, but I think the threat of a takedown is there, and I'm with you. I think Izzy's going to pull it out. I think he's just too good of a fighter, well-rounded, and the only way Pereira can win is by a knockout, and I just don't see that happening.
Dude, 7 title defenses is insane.
That is insane, especially a middleweight division that's stacked. I mean, you used to have Yoel Romero, you have Paulo Costa, you have Robert Whitaker, you have Marvin Vettori. It's a stacked division. Sean Strickland. There's some badasses, and I know Izzy's been fighting boring recently, but he's losing less rounds, so
It's facts.
he's doing it.
So what do you think is next if Izzy wins?
I think it depends how the fight goes. I think if it's a super close fight and it's a split decision or 49-48 back and forth fight, they could run it back, but he might go back up to 205 and try to get that belt
second
again.
title.
I think it depends. I think if it's Glover, I don't know if we want to go back up. I think that wrestling proved a factor when he fought against Jan Blachowicz, and just 20 pounds is a lot, man. But I think if Yuri retains the title, then there is a chance that Izzy goes up.
Well, you guys heard our picks for UFC 281 upcoming Madison Square Garden. I cannot wait to watch these fights.
I cannot wait either. But like always, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms at the Burn Factory Podcast. And like always, please visit his foundation at priestjamesfoundation.org. Again, that is priestjamesfoundation.org to see why this is called the Burn Factory Podcast. Priest. All right, we'll see him for the post-fight show.
Let us know who you guys have.
Peace.